There's been like this New York is dead narrative for a while, right? And even though you've seen artists emerge from New York City in the last few years, because the sound is a little different, they don't always get the credit. Whether it's Nicki, whether it's French, whether it's A$AP Rocky, the narrative is not as clear with Cardi. Like, she gets the credit for being a New York City artist. I think it meant a lot. But for me, what I was thinking, like, it really feels like the beginning of a victory lap. She's been putting on for a while. Bodak Yellow is a year old now. Came out last June. And now you're starting to see, like, the results, whether it's like record sales, awards, just felt like a moment.
What's up, geniuses? Welcome back to For the Record. I'm your host, Rob Markman. Now, Monday night, we all watched the MTV Video Music Awards, and one thing that stuck out that everybody's talking about the next day is Cardi B. Especially if you're from New York, we've seen Cardi B go from the clubs. Then we seen her go to Love and Hip Hop. Then we seen her mixtape grind. We seen this incredible year, and last night we saw her on the MTV VMA stage. So we're here today to ask the question, can Love and Hip Hop produce another star as big as Cardi B? And I got a panel of guests who I want to introduce, man. First up, I have my man, Carl Cherry, who just announced that he is the Spotify creative director and head of Urban.
Yep. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, clap for that, man. Congratulations, man. That's dope. Me and Carl came up since Double XL together. So it's great to see you in that position, brother. You're doing amazing things. Next, another long-time homie of mine, man. I'm a fan. I listen to this guy on the radio all the time, the Prince of New York, the head of Gwinnett Entertainment, Power 105's own, Brooklyn's own, DJ Self. Welcome to For the Record. Yeah, there we go. I wish we had a live audience, man, but it's all good. We're here. We're in the room. We kind of about this intimate conversation. Nah, we got it. And next up, finally, last, but definitely never least, okay? Yep, we have an artist who actually seen Cardi's her rise firsthand, right? Yep. You know, you starred in Love and Hip Hop. Mm-hmm. You have a new EP on the way on September 7th.
September 7th, Life in Plastic Part 2 will be dropping.
Dream Doll, welcome to the show. Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, now, before we go any further, I want to shout out Philo. This is our sponsor for today's episode. With Philo, you can get live TV on demand and unlimited recording for just $16 a month. It's a cord-free, commitment-free, hassle-free way to watch 40 of your favorite channels like MTV, BET, VH1. You know I watch Love and Hip Hop on Philo all the time. So head to philo.com right now and start your free trial today. All right, now let's get into this discussion. You like that, Self?
Let's do it.
Yo, Dream, you were actually at the VMAs, right?
Yes.
And Carl went to the VMAs as well. Self probably had like 6 club dates last night tearing it down.
I to watch it on television.
I was trying to make him come.
Yeah, I think the award shows look better on TV than actually being there live. Right. All the time.
You know where they look even better? On Philo.
Hello.
Like that. Nah. Let's get into it now for real. Cardi opened the show. I just wanted to talk about, you know, opening the VMAs, opening an award show, any award show is a big thing. So here comes Cardi. What were you guys thinking? Like, she opened the show and kind of faked us all out because we thought we was gonna see the baby. We thought we was gonna see Culture. She won the best new artist, best collaboration with J-Lo and Khaled. There were tons of Cardi highlights. What was kind of going through your mind? Let's start with you, Dream, because I think you have the closest relationship with Cardi.
Well, I was super excited for Cardi because I'm from the Bronx, New York. I started in the clubs. I did Love and Hip Hop. So just to see like her growth is just like every path that Cardi B paving is like another path for me, like another door opened up for me. So she just make me like, you know, one day I could be there.
Yeah, that's dope. Carl, New York City, you're from Queens, not from the Bronx, but you know it's all New York. What were you thinking like, because I know we often have these conversations about, maybe we are a little biased because we're from New York, but when you see a hometown person kind of really on the big stage, right, it's really a moment to be proud. What was going through your mind sitting in there in Radio City Music Hall and seeing Cardi B up there get those awards?
I mean, first of all, there's been like this New York is dead narrative for a while, right? And even though you've seen artists emerge from New York City in the last few years, because the sound is a little different, they don't always get the credit, whether it's Nicki, whether it's French, whether it's A$AP Rocky. I think she's been repping for the Bronx so hard that the narrative is not as clear with Cardi. Like, she gets the credit for being a New York City artist. I think it meant a lot. But for me, what I was thinking, like, it really feels like the beginning of a victory lap. She's been putting on for a while. Bodak Yellow is a year old now. Came out last June. And now you're starting to see, like, the results, whether it's, like, record sales, awards. Just felt like a moment.
Right. So, I mean, you seen just being a DJ in New York City, like artists from all over, like you've seen movements, you've seen how records move. What's your take on what's going on with Cardi right now?
It's kind of like close to me because I guess I was there in the beginning stages also, like an uncle. I would say not like a father, like an uncle, and
Uncle Self.
basically, right? And when you see it, I see that hard work and persistence. It really works. Like, a lot of times, your favorite artist or your dad or somebody will tell you that, yo, work hard, it's gonna happen. But then when you see somebody really do it and you see the outcome, and it's just exciting to me, to be honest with you. So, like everything I see, cliche-ish, people tell you it's gonna happen, and it really did. So I guess, I kind of knew it was gonna happen because all the ingredients was right.
Right. Let's go back to sort of her pre-fame days and Dream. I want to speak to you about this because I remember following Cardi on Instagram when she was in the clubs. And I think what a lot of people forget, a lot of what she used to do was kind of a little bit of like the Kylie Jenner effect for New York artists, that if she was on Instagram playing your song and your song was popping, and I remember there was a video of her with Partisan Fontaine, the Oi record, and she's at the gas station pumping gas, twerking, but the record is playing in the background, and everybody's like, well, what's that record? Mm-hmm. Like, she kind of made local things kind of hot. She was like moving things around in New York and really popping if you knew what was going on in New York, then loving hip hop. You knew Cardi, you guys were like in the clubs together, running around New York, hustling in New York together. Talk about your perception of her pre-fame, like before the rest of the world knew.
Well, let's just say I feel like, the nightlife and, whatever you do in nightlife, I feel like that's like the new fake drug dealers. Like, it's like the new wave. So it's like, I feel like a lot of people are coming up from the nightlife. But, I think Cardi stood out a lot because of her personality. And I was always following her. I thought she was very funny. So, yeah. We never really met in the clubs though. Okay. But we worked together.
Sorry for the misconception.
We never really met, but I was following her Instagram and, because we worked at 2 different clubs, but it still was like.
There was like a scene though, like in New York,
nice
still a scene, still a nice scene.
Everybody doing it now. Everybody bartending.
That's dope. So the big meme with you is that you actually had a chance to sign her, right? We seen this in Love. How much was that was real that we seen on Love? Listen, set it up. Go ahead.
Let me say this: the misconception is I had a chance to sign Cardi, and that's like the super misconception. Number one, I didn't have a record company to sign Cardi at the time. When we first started doing Love and Hip Hop, I wanted to be the best DJ. And I was like, yo, you know what? I'm going to be on Love and Hip Hop. I want to be the #1 DJ. Like, my thing was, you say, who's the hottest DJ in New York? They would say Flex or Envy or something. And I'm like, no, they got to say my name. So I was like, just my whole concept of doing Love and Hip Hop was for me to be the best DJ. So I didn't have any CEO or trying to, sign artists or anything like that. I didn't have a record company, anything like that. So my general thing was just helping her out. It wasn't signing her or whatever. I think things change so quick in music, so people forget that, when I met Cardi, he said it was just a year ago. I met her 6-7 years ago. You understand what I'm saying? So all this stuff was 6-7 years ago, not a year ago. But people forget 6-7 years ago. They just go straight to a year. So I never had a chance. I never had an opportunity to sign because I didn't have a company to sign. And my company now that I have is 2 years old. And I met her 6 years ago.
Gwen in the same. And Dream Doll is signed to Gwen, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you got yourself a star, baby.
Yeah.
Look, you see it right now. Carl, I want to talk to you about Zoom Outside of Love and Hip Hop, because this Cardi thing is happening like in New York, very locally, right? In the clubs, in the nightlife, just her personality shining, Love and Hip Hop. Then the mixtapes come and it's like, oh, she's doing music. Okay, cool. From the outside looking in on the show, when does it become a real thing? You were working streaming at the time. When do you start to see things really pick up that you're like, hold on, this is an artist we need to pay attention to?
I think they were like stages, right? So I mean, full disclosure, I've watched Love and Hip Hop. I'm not a religious watcher, but that season when Cardi came on, I did watch a couple episodes. So I was familiar with the narrative, right? So Gangsta Bitch Music Volume 1 comes out. There was traction there. So it was already becoming a thing. It just wasn't like as widespread or whatever. So that's when I started paying attention. I'm looking, I see it on the charts, it's something. I think the first time I supported a Cardi song is Lick. So that was Volume 2. But
Hold on, before the remix or after the remix with Offset?
we also jumped on it.
Okay, fair.
Keep it a buck, keep it a buck, right?
I
Keep it a buck.
just want to keep you honest. I want to keep it real, as my man.
Veal.
Veal.
Gotta keep it a buck, right? So that was like a different stage where it felt like there was a little bit more traction. But, and one thing I have to stress, because, you know, you hit on the head, like, I think people almost forget about what came before the explosion now, because everything else that happened after is so big.
Yeah, that they forget.
They forget how she started, right? But one thing I have to stress, it all comes down to the music. Because when I heard Bodak, to me, it's completely disconnected to everything you're mentioning as far as like, oh, when do you see the traction in clubs and everything? I heard it and I was like, oh. And I'm not gonna lie, I had a hesitation. I was like, wait, is this song as good as I think it is? Like, clearly it was.
I'm glad you said hesitation, and I want to get into this. And Dream, this is where we start to get into you and what you're going through. But there was a stigma, I think, of artists on reality TV, particularly Love and Hip Hop. Is that where you would go to end your career? When you sold all the records that you were going to sell, and then you go in Love and Hip Hop and you kind of ride off into the sunset and collect those last couple of checks. It really doesn't feel like that's the case anymore. So, Dream, I want to speak to you because you've been on a number of reality shows. You with these artistic aspirations and really pushing your art, was that a stigma that you ever faced? The Carl Cherries of the world being like, is this record as good as it is? You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, when Everything Nice, my first single ever, it aired on, Love and Hip Hop, it went up 30,000 the first night. So it was like, with Love and Hip Hop, with television, period, it's either win or lose, It's either you're gonna do what you gotta do and, finesse your way, or it's just like, you're gonna flop. People get on and sometimes it hurt their career and sometimes it don't. And my offense, it helped me. It helped me even as far as people know me from the Bad Girls Club. So when people actually know that I do music now, they're tuning in. So I had a lot of new listeners. What was the second part of that question?
No, that's good. You're good. Yeah.
It was
I forgot. I don't know. I'm so enthralled in what you're saying. No, but you're really talking about your experiences. So a lot of times when it's a stigma for somebody else, you said you came in and right out the gate, it worked to your advantage.
And luckily, my first
Everything
single,
nice.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. My first single is still one of my best. So is probably my most known song. Like if my song plays in every single club in New York. So on the radio, and not even only in New York, outside of New York. But it's hard for my first record to like stick. I mean, I just came up with Pull Up, and that's been sticking. But when you got that first record, and it's just like people know from that one record, it's just like, but Life in Plastic Part 2 is fire.
Okay.
Okay.
September 7th. Self, man, I want to throw this to you because, I mean, I'm sure every artist in the game has come to you, Self, how can I get on, Self? What can I be doing to be better, Self? What kind of records do I need? And then particularly you being attached to the show, there are a lot of artists on the show who have success to varying degrees. So how much is that?
I'm gonna answer the question that you asked first too. I think people, the same way he was talking about with New York, that people say New York fell off, and I think we never did because we've always had artists, like he said, with French, Nicki, they just don't credit him to New York. And I think the same thing with Love and Hip Hop also, because there were the K. Michelles, there were Omarions. Like Omarion started popping, to be honest with you, when he got back on the show. That's when Post to Be, and you understand? But, so I think that, we say, we don't accredit it to the show. I think post Cardi, Now it's like, okay, we're going to put it credit to the show because like the same thing he said, maybe, I don't think she repped Love and Hip Hop so hard, but with social media and everything now and the world, that's where the whole world first saw her at. So that's where they credited to also. But when I decided to do Love and Hip Hop, it was the same thing. I'm on radio here 6 nights a week. So, and our boss there, she loves us to be live. So it's hard for me to go to Atlanta or, all different things. People like, yo, you ain't go out of town.
There's a lot of times I hit you because you'll do a mix.
Yeah,
and I'll be like,
am I live?
Yo, are you live? That was fine. He's like, of course I'm live.
Yeah, you understand? A lot of times people, primarily, of course, it's, a lot of people pre-record, but I can't. So I had to figure out a way to get to each of these cities and would still being in New York. So I did it through television. And I think that's the same way that the new artists are doing now with their music. You're getting into each homes, through television. Now, what people popping or not, or being successful, I think is the backstory. And when I say the backstory, meaning outside of the television. But doing reality TV could mess up your mind so much that, a lot of times people are just worried about the television show and they put their career secondly, unknowingly. So, they'll make a song and they say, all right, I want to make this song and I'm going to make sure it goes on TV as opposed to let me hit up Carl first or let me hit up Rob first or Self first and pop my record. So you have some legs to stand on. Because now, if you only hear it on a television show and that's the first time you're hearing it, y'all two may not take it seriously because that's the first time you're hearing it. And I think a lot of artists, they just get confused with that because they feel like the television reach more homes quicker than, going to one of us to, just plant the seed. So I think that's the issue.
So it's still putting the real work in and not relying on the show.
And I think that a lot of artists rely on the show too much as opposed to, doing backstory and letting the show help out.
Just some people I want to shout out, if I'm keeping it real, from Love and Hip Hop.
Follow.
And you like that? Look at that. So see that? So that's why he's the best in the biz. And in a very different way, Joe Budden actually did the reverse, right? Love and Hip Hop. He was one of the most respected lyricists in the game, and that visibility he turned into a media and podcast career, but really kind of used the show to get in America's homes and stay focused on himself. So Joe Budden's having an amazing career. I saw Amara La Negra on the cover of People magazine, which I thought was really dope. Dream is doing it. Look, if I'm keeping it real, Young Berg and A1 on the production side, and maybe those records would still blow up without the show, but they're on the show and they're producing hit record after hit record after hit record. Dream, Safari is out there throwing money, wearing minks every time we look at them. Who are some of the artists of Love and Hip Hop that excite you that you guys are looking for next? Because everybody wants to look for the next Cardi B, right? So the first place that they're going to look is Love and Hip Hop. Naturally, let's see what's going on over there.
One person you forgot, but you mentioned her. Like, people forget about K. Michelle.
Shout out to K. Michelle.
Like, and I think her arc is a little different because you knew about her, like working with R. Kelly. She was signed before. She's a true talent, so I think. But she definitely used Love and Hip Hop as like a springboard. That visibility, like really helping, really translate. She got signed to Atlantic Records. I mean, Atlantic, coincidentally, like both. But you got to shout her out. Like maybe she helped prepare like the climate for Cardi.
Dream, how do you balance now? Like you actually were doing the reality TV thing for a minute, and your first record was on Love and Hip Hop, and kind of just took off from there. And still one of your most successful. How do you balance now? Self was talking about being able to put that work in as an artist and still maintain the visibility on the show, but not get lost in just being a reality TV star. Like, how do you balance that?
It's hard. I mean, I've been in situations where I was the most hated, and I've been in a situation when I'm the most loved and the most relatable. I don't know, But I would have to say not losing focus of your purpose. Your purpose, what are you doing it for, Are you doing it to further your career, or are you doing it to be in the drama? Like, you feel me? You gotta know when to turn it off and on. I feel like that, but I just feel like focusing on my music is better for me, and keeping my Instagram popping. People always gonna watch.
One thing that Dream has said was that watching Cardi at the VMAs like kind of kicked down doors and blazed trails for her. Self, I want to get your take on this as the head of Gwenin, and you have two women artists with Mariah Lynn and with Dream. Does Cardi's success help or hurt? Does it blaze a trail and leave a path that then they can then follow? Or
definitely, Cardi's success definitely helps because it shows that it can be more than one woman around where it used to be. It was just the popular girl, the lyricist girl, and then that's it. So and companies now, they feel like, okay, we can invest in women as opposed to just investing in men. So it's very good, and I think it builds up confidence within Dream, with Mariah, with even a Kaya baby. Like, all right, I'm not doing this for nothing, or it's not going to amount to nothing. So now I feel like they like, okay, it could happen. So I think like her success is very good, and especially with me knowing the beginnings, I kind of know the ingredients. You understand? So it's like, we got the cheat code.
So just devil's advocate, and some might say, do you ever get somebody coming at you, Dream, and being like, because at the same time, Dream Doll is Dream Doll, and you're your own artist, that looking or expecting a Bodak Yellow from you, and then they would be like, oh, that's not Bodak, that's not Cardi. When you're your own artist, does that ever come into play, or how do you navigate that?
I always get compared to people, so regardless, but I'm Dream Doll, and there's not another one of me out here. But I do want to say something that J-Lo said that stood out the most.
Bronx?
What,
No,
no, Bronx.
Cardi said that.
My Bronx is up there repping, but she said that she was told that you can't do more than one thing, and that stuck to me because it's like people feel like, okay, you do TV, you gotta stick to TV. You do this, you do that. Like, I'm all here for, put acting and, doing like just being bigger and being the best that I could be, and putting my feet in every, in everything and, a little bit of everything. But that stood out to me the most because people feel as if I can't do music because I used to do poetry. So it's like, I can't do music because I was doing Bad Girls Club, or I can't do, and those are the type of people that, you just keep winning. That's it. And look, J-Lo got the biggest award of the night, and she gave that, and that really stuck to me when she said that.
That resonated with me too, because people tell me the same thing.
Do anything.
They say, I can only do one thing. So they said I can only do one thing.
Right. My mom told me I could be whoever I want to be. So if I want to be a firefighter next week, I'm going to be a firefighter. Like, I could literally, that's what they tell you in school. You could be whatever you want to be. So why I could,
I feel you.
You feel me?
But maybe before firefighting, let's get Life in Plastic 2 out
No, I'm
first.
just saying,
and get
of course.
Then we're going to do the firefighter thing, because
course.
I'm looking forward to hearing that.
Yes, yes.
Yo, going back to Cardi, man, and I do think we're seeing like a special moment in hip hop. She's having a moment, and I think as a fan of the culture, like, you could share when you see things like this, right? What do you think is next for her? I just want to, there's rumors that she's dropping a project in September. I don't know if I'm the only one who heard that rumor.
No,
Carl,
I heard it too.
do you have this inside information? But I heard there's a new project coming this year. She has the baby. She didn't do the Bruno tour, but it still seems like things are coming down the pipeline for her. What do you see next for Cardi B?
I see her going on tour. I see her doing movies.
We didn't even get the tour yet.
Yeah, I feel like she is going to go. I feel like she's probably going to drop her project and then go on tour.
Do you know? Did you
No,
speak? Is this exclusive information, Dre? No, I'm just messing with you. I'm not putting you on the spot.
I don't know, but I do know that.
Right. And then movies, I can see movies. So, what do you see, man? Is this just a moment, or is this? Or are we gonna see more?
This is definitely an ongoing thing. I mean, from what I know, I just know she's recording now. So, hopefully everything will be done soon. I just know she's recording. That's all I know.
I'm not putting everybody on the hot seat. Carl, what do you think, man? Is this just a moment, or are we seeing something?
First of all, I know nothing, but so this is all
You
speculation.
always the last to know. It's like, yo, my album's out. Spotify, what's up?
but I mean, the video for Ring just came out. First of all, like, my first impression of the album when I heard it was like, she got singles to go, right? So this album cycle doesn't have to be over if she doesn't want it to be. Ring just came out, the video, it's the current single. That's gonna go, right? I Do with SZA could go.
I love that.
Like,
That's my favorite record on the album.
So she could close out the year without dropping anything. She's good. So I see definitely more features. I think they're gonna have to figure out the tour. It's gonna be interesting to see what size venue she does, because she's a really, really big artist at this point. And maybe top of the year we get another record. I wouldn't go with another record now. You don't need to.
Yeah.
It's fun. Like, she definitely doesn't need another record right
And
now.
them features is heavy too. Like,
Her features move the needle. Like, I think between, I was looking at the songs of Spotify or whatever, like the top 25 for the summer, and like, she's on like, whatever wasn't hip hop, she was on. The Maroon 5 record, the J-Lo record.
Maroon 5 got the cheat code. They just get whoever the hottest rapper is. They had SZA on their last joint. They had Wiz a couple years ago. Like,
I like that it's not only hip hop though. That's what I love about it. Like, even like it's different type of sound.
Rob, when was the last time that somebody was so effective with features? Like moving the needle and like used it as part of their emergence leading up to their debut album.
That was probably Wayne, right?
Wayne, and
that wasn't even a debut.
Well,
that
no,
was
Wayne,
like in
yeah,
the,
Wayne.
like,
Well, I mean, that
Wayne was
was his-
established. Wayne, to me,
I think that was his
yeah,
rebirth.
yeah, no, exactly. He was effective.
well, Wayne saved the entire music. I think people would set their album release date based on when Wayne had time to give him a verse. Like, there was entire marketing plans behind that. 50 was a lot of that.
Drake, of course.
Yeah, I think Nicki was a lot of that on her come up with the Ludacris and My Chick Bad and Yo Gotti. Oh yeah. Drake. Yeah. We've seen it.
Well, but it's been a minute, right?
It's been a minute. It's always exciting when that happens, and that's what I'm talking about in this moment. I think you're right. I don't think she needs another album right now.
Well, I
but
know
if she
she's
drops
recording.
well, and artists are
Definitely.
always recording, right? Like Jay-Z is probably recording somewhere, and they just dropped the Carter's joint, right? But if she does drop this year, hip hop loves stunts, right? What a stunt if she drops! Like, that's DMX is on this wall somewhere. What is that? Is that? Oh, it's Dark and Hell's Hot.
20 years ago.
We remember what it was when X dropped 2 albums in the same year and how exciting that was. Hip hop loves excitement. Hip hop loves to see the stunt. So she doesn't need it, but if she wanted to drop it, what a stunt.
She'd be the first woman to do it, right? 2 records in a year?
I think so. In hip hop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dream. You gotta do 3. You gotta do 3 when it's your time. So said we need 3 records in a year, and they all need to go number 1.
Begging him to put out records.
Well, yo, one, I just want to thank y'all all for coming to the show and having this discussion with me. I think it's dope to just sit back and analyze where the game is going, and so I just appreciate y'all. Dream Doll, Life in Plastic 2, September 7th.
Yes, sir.
Okay, DJ Self on 6 nights a week, Power 105 in New York. But you can stream that anywhere in the world.
Stream it anywhere. And shout out to Lou Got Cash. Also, he has a new project called Universal.
Right.
Soon.
Right. I mess with Lou.
Universal.
That's what I just said.
No, you said
I
Universal.
said Luniversal.
No, you didn't. You said he's
You
2 on 1.
You did say Universal.
I'm sorry.
What you think, Carl?
But it's because
I said
You
Luniversal.
gonna stay out of everything, right? You said
because he
Universal.
signed with Universal Republic. We got. You know what? We'll edit it.
Maybe the way I talk. I don't know. Cop the Lou Got Cash joint when it come out. Dream Doll's project is coming. I don't know what camera. We're gonna talk to all of them. Dream Doll's project is coming out. Also, she's gonna be having an exclusive listening event at SOB's on that Sunday, which is the 9th of September. So just come out and listen to all the tracks. She's gonna perform all the tracks off of that album. Also, we're gonna have some special guests coming out also.
Guest. And a special feature.
Can I get on the list?
See?
See,
We're gonna figure it out,
See
man.
how they do it?
Hit my people who's my people hit you back.
And my man Carl Cherry, man. Congratulations
Appreciate
on
it.
Spotify, man.
Appreciate it.
Well, we don't know if it's a congratulations because there might be a headache for you now, right?
It's been a headache.
Okay.
But you built for this pressure, man. I think to have a guy like you, I'm just gonna say this, in this position, a lot of times we don't see us in these positions that get to really kind of pull the levers and make things happen and just build the bridges between the artist community and what's going on in the rest of the industry. So to have you in this position, man, I'm very excited. for what you're able to do over there at Spotify. Y'all doing great things, and I'm excited for where the game is going, man. We're in good hands when we're in your hands, bro.
Appreciate that.
Love. All right, man. Well, this is For the Record. Thank you for tuning in. Check us out next week. Peace.